I feel like women don't act like that unless you've been doing it consistently or you've been dropping the ball consistently or she's been talking to you about it a lot.
You know, girl, it's been a minute. You know, I miss you so much. You know you mean the world to me, girl. You know I love you so much, girl. First the love, then the drama. Times ain't easy, girl. In fact, they just get harder. Still remember all the good times of sunshine and laughter. We making big moves to live happy ever after. First the love, then it's drama. Times ain't easy, girl. In fact, they just get harder.
Clubhouse podcast, you guys. I'm so excited. You know, you always see us here on the radio live every Wednesday at 6 p.m., which we still do. But we wanted to take some and just try out something to see how this would go if we was to do some live video here on Facebook and YouTube. So we was like, let's see what it is. So we calling this is the Black Love Clubhouse. Yes. And of course, it's me, Nikki Talks. Richard Roots and Edgar Prime is right there. Yes.
In the house. They didn't leave me out, so I'm excited.
Y'all, tag somebody in the comments. Let them know we in here. And also, because obviously this was like, let's just see how this goes, right? So we just was like, let's pop up and do a pop-up, right? This is what it was. But
shout out to Tulsa Podcast Studio. I know y'all love the set. If you love the set, put it in the chat. Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah, so Tulsa Podcast Studio, we're so thankful. The producer over there, he's doing his thing, and
look at him, he popped
yes. I'm excited. But you guys, this is really cool and exciting, and I'm just like, one, I'm looking at here because I could see your comments, and I see April's in the room, which is cool. I see Mickey Minnie's in the room. Yes, y'all. So I'm really excited, y'all. We got a cool topic coming in today, and it's like, come tell us why these men don't listen.
Y'all not gonna believe who came up with this title. Nikki. No, I'm joking.
I did not come up with this title at all.
We're gonna blame it on Nikki. No, it was Prime.
Nah.
Edgar Prime came up with it.
We had some good stuff to talk about coming here. Y'all talk about why men don't listen. Now they all gonna be coming after me.
Yes.
He really tried to curve this.
This is crazy, but y'all, seriously, this is gonna be a great topic. So let us know in the chat why men don't listen. Also, share this live. Go ahead, share with a friend. Share it to your page. Let people know to come into the clubhouse because we in here.
Yeah, first off, we want to give a shout out to y'all who showed up too, because this was like completely unannounced. We were just like, surprise.
Yeah, spontaneous, spur of the moment.
Yeah, it was like, let's try this out, But why do men? Let's get to it. Why men don't listen?
I think men listen pretty well for the most part.
As you guys, as men, is this like a consensus on the TikTok sphere or the Instagram world that men don't listen?
Well, okay, so there is a little bit of a social media thing about men not listening, but they did also have a serious argument about, would you rather be trapped with a man or a bear? So can we really trust a lot of that?
Wait, I did see that. Like, it was crazy that women were like, a bear. And then they were like, why? And it was like, because a bear can't rape me. I was like, are men just going around here raping me?
I was like, first off, that's not true.
On?
And then secondly, what?
Yeah, so.
You know what I think it is? I think the argument comes, I think people start to believe that men don't listen because, again, I think we're coming to an age where we're starting to forget how to communicate. And then if there's two different forms of communication in one house or in one relationship, then it will come across as somebody's not listening. Right?
Okay.
So we find ourselves in these arguments all the time where we're like, and I'm saying people in general. Right. We find ourselves in these arguments where we're like, we just want you to listen. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is where I don't think we hear it so much now where women are saying men don't listen. You know what I'm saying? But we used to hear it a whole lot more. I used to hear it a whole lot more growing up. But there was a challenge going around on TikTok saying men don't listen, And I even saw a woman who was trying to she tried to get her husband. I thought it was pretty cool though because it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But you ever saw that little challenge where it was like, follow me, do this,
Mm-hmm.
and now put it on your chin.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman do like this.
Mm-hmm.
She don't listen.
You say follow me, now put it on your chin. Go ahead. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
All right, go ahead. Look. Prime. Follow me. I want to see if men listen. Prime.
Yeah, everybody.
Put the camera on Prime.
No.
Put the camera on Prime.
Don't get me caught up.
No. I want to see. If he gonna listen. Look, if we had an extra camera on Aaron, I would have challenged him.
All right. So what am I doing?
Do this.
Okay. Am I following your instructions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now put this on your chin.
My chin.
What? I don't get it either.
No. So what he's saying is that he's moving his hand in a different place than what he's telling you to do. It's like,
But you put it on your chin.
but you touched the cheek. You
But
followed
no,
his
that's
hand.
what he did. No, he didn't say put it on his chin the first time. Oh my gosh, you did not. You was like,
Okay, look,
like,
Chad, y'all gonna have to look.
y'all
What I
look.
said. What I said.
You
So,
did not.
What's funny is they use this to prove that men don't listen. You know, but
I'm gonna rewatch this, and I know that
Okay.
you did not say put it on
okay.
your
So
chin.
look. All right. Now this is what I said.
Yes.
And when you watch it, just see if this is accurate.
Okay.
I say, do this. Now I say, follow me. Do this.
Uh-huh.
Now put this on your chin. So there was a change in the instruction.
I don't remember.
Now I'm
the
put this
chin
on your
portion.
chin.
I don't remember the chin portion at all.
Okay,
y'all.
I'll give you a different one. How about that?
Okay, go.
All right, give you a different. Okay, so your mother has 3 kids:
Okay.
April, May, and what's the last child's name?
Oh, he wrong for that.
Okay, my mother has 3 kids. April, May.
I'm gonna answer it.
What? No, don't answer it. Your mother has 3 kids,
This is set up.
and me, whatever my name is.
Oh, okay, all right.
see?
Oh, okay.
All right, good
I
job.
thought I was gonna be
Good
stupid.
I ain't want you to take 2 hits.
Ha.
How many of
I
y'all fell
still
for that
don't
though?
think
How
the
many of
first
y'all
one.
say June?
I wanted to say June, but look, April said Nikki. Y'all look at her.
Oh wait,
face.
technically April,
Oh.
right? So I guess we got 2 of them named
Uh-huh.
April. Oh, wait. If she would have said June, that would have been fair because April. That's crazy.
That's true.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Oh, but April tried to help y'all. I see. She said Nikki. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Our females have to stick up for the females. That's what's up. All right.
But I think women, I don't know. I think women, I don't know. I don't know if, it's really hard. I don't know if men don't listen. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
think that
What
has
it
been-
is,
I could be
what is
honest.
it? Okay,
if
go
I
ahead.
could be honest, I gotta tell you that sometimes, most of the time, trying to follow a story delivered from a woman is hard to do because it's not linear. You know, you kind of following your emotions and the peaks and the valleys of the day. And all right, you know what? There might be a little bit to us not listening because some of those stories are hard to follow. We kind of tune you out a little bit.
Well, what if
I
it's-
got to be honest with you.
What if it's not just a story to follow? What if it's just like,
Instructions.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think that's really the bulk of why women say, you know, men don't listen. Like I asked you to take out the trash. I told you to pick up the kids. I told you to do this. And it's mostly the times when we are doing something that a woman normally does.
Mm-hmm.
So, and women do a really good job at giving us strategic instructions to do. Like, they're like, I want you to do X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. And we like, I got this. We get there and we don't do it right.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can tell somebody what and how to do something. If you know best how to do something and you know what needs to be done, you should just do it yourself.
No, so those are often times when a woman can't do it. So if she's like let's say the woman is called to, she's called in to work extra.
Right.
So she can't pick up the kids.
Right.
So there's a procedure that you have to do to pick up the kids.
Right.
So the woman would say, hey, babe, I need you to go pick up the kids. I need you have to stop home first, go pick up the cord to put on the windshield, and go pick up the kids. I'm telling you, they will not allow you to pick up the kids without it. So the man goes, he's like rushing there at the last minute after he shot pool or whatever, because he's like, I get there in 3 minutes. He gets there and he tries to pick up the kid. He called her. He's like, hey, why they not letting me have these kids? Men don't listen. I told you, you have to grab the card so they can know you're picking up April, May, and Prime.
Okay. All right. You know what? That's fair. That there may be some truth to that. I can't necessarily argue that point. But I also think, like, can we get like a little grace in that area? Because like if Kobe is out there scoring 61 and Kobe get hurt and we bring in Ben Simmons and nobody expected him to put up 61 points. Like at the end of the day, did he get the kids? Was he there? Did he actually try and do what it was? Like, we all make mistakes. Like, something you do day in and day out is not rocket science to you. It's something you're accustomed to. Used to dealing with those people. You know how long that's going to take. You know how frustrating it is to be sitting in the car in that unnecessarily long line. Like, why we all sitting here right now? We couldn't do this more efficiently. But you know all of that stuff. He don't. So he's thinking, this can't be too complicated. Because, he was like, hey, I just need you to go get this and this and this done because I can't do it. Cool, I got that. I ain't a moron. You get out there and find out it's more complicated than he thought.
Yeah.
I think it's like that. I do agree. I think we should. Well,
go ahead.
I can't speak for sure.
I think he's like, I think
women.
Y'all don't get no pass.
I think women should give grace because I do get it. And I think about that on a regular. How my wife does so much stuff religiously that if I was to do it, it'll be a task for me. You know what I'm saying? So like for you, it's easy to remember this long list of things that you do because you do it religiously. You have cues that remind you to do these things. But when it's like, if I tell my wife to go and change the oil, and she forgets that, she may actually forget that you just drove the car. I told you to wait, 30 minutes before you even pop the hood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She may forget that, in that sense, in the same way, I need to show grace because I know this is something that I'm used to doing.
Right.
She never changed the oil a day in her life. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could give some grace to each other. You know what I'm saying? I think a little bit of grace. I think that's how we express some black love.
April says that women be loud and won't let a man speak. So when they don't respond, women think they're not listening. I don't know.
Hey, no lies were spoken.
I don't know. Maybe she was loud because y'all didn't hear the first time.
That's a different perspective.
I don't know. I'm just.
Well, maybe when you get loud with somebody who's bigger than you, they probably try and tune you out.
Hey, maybe he didn't hear you the first time because you didn't say it right the first time.
But obviously, I don't think women just are loud. I think women are loud. Listen, wait, Prime, Bean. Okay. Listen, all right. So I don't think women when they get overstimulated, they get frustrated, and that's when we get loud. I don't think we're naturally or just loud. I think we're loud when we are frustrated. Naturally, we just say, we need this done, or maybe there are so many things that have happened. By the time we get to something else, we're like, can you take the trash out? Dang, and then it's like, can you take the trash out? And we might say it in not such a,
pleasant, favorable, nice.
We might not say it because we're already frustrated because of something else that happened throughout the day. I don't think people are just.
I agree. I don't think people are just frustrated for no reason. But also, this kind of reminds me of the conversation we had was it yesterday or the day before, about the car. Like, at the end of the day, it don't really matter why the kid is running in the street. It's still a car coming. Like, regardless of what happened to you before the day got over, you still came home and decided to punch me in the face. I still have a right to have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, and I agree. You do have a right to, you can respond. But what is something else you said? You know, I remember there was a Prime that said, you know, we understand that they might be a little loud, but we should, like, embrace them. And, like, you remember he said something like that? Like hug them to calm them down.
Oh, wait, I didn't say nothing about
He
that.
did say something like that.
Hold on. Let me clear
Okay.
that up. Let me clear that up.
You said
Because
that?
I feel like he
I didn't
said,
say
like,
that. No.
something
Is she
like
talking
that.
about your poem?
She was talking about the poem.
No, I'm not talking
But-
about it. Well, it
So
was
what-
close to the, yeah.
So
yeah,
what you're
it was on
talking
that,
about in the poem is giving grace. But I've said on the show many a times is that women should be accountable for how they speak to their men. Like, I'm not
He
with
did
this.
say that after.
No.
You don't have a blank statement, blank check to come at me however you want. If you come at me with anything over a 7, get out my face. Like, we not even about to talk.
I get that. You can give her grace in that moment, but
But
afterwards,
7 or less.
no,
grace.
hold up. You can give her grace in that moment and embrace her, and be like, you know what? I recognize this is not your normal behavior. This is frustration. I give grace in that moment, but then it's like afterwards.
You give that to Jesus.
No. We give grace and then we hold accountable afterwards. After we fix the situation, boom, boom, boom. Then we say, you know what? I didn't appreciate the way you spoke to me. And now she is calmed down and she's ready because she's no longer frustrated anymore. The things have been dealt with. The things are done. And she's no longer frustrated. She's happier. She's in a more peaceful state. So now we can hold accountable and she can receive it. But if you try to hold her accountable in that moment, then guess what's going to happen? Argument.
No.
You-
she about to leave.
No.
You think somebody want to be touched when they're frustrated? You like while you loud and angry, upset.
Well,
frustrated,
you
think
don't have
somebody's
to.
gonna
You
come
don't.
hug
I'm not saying you gotta hug them. Okay, this was something that I believe you said.
You think it's
So-
better to touch them though? You think it's a good idea to just come and say, I
it's
know
a
you're
good idea
frustrated.
not to respond back with the same energy. And say, you know what? I'm sorry. I did forget that trash. Let me get that. Is there anything else you need? And you're gonna smooth it over.
Wait a
and then
minute.
No.
and then what this woman is gonna feel if you don't most of the time you don't even have to hold them accountable to the way they act. Because when you respond like that, what's gonna happen is she's gonna say, then you know what? She's gonna hold herself accountable because she's gonna while you responded in such she's gonna say,
Nah, she gonna tighten
Yes,
up her belt.
no,
'cause she
don't do
wearing the
that.
pants
No,
in the
that's
relationship.
not true.
That's happened
That
between
is not true. No,
us.
you're
She
talking about a
is-
different thing. If a woman is belligerent and
No,
you
I'm not
allow
saying,
her,
but we
that's
went
what we're
from
talking
frustration
about.
Being about
no,
the,
we started at being loud.
Yes, you.
That's belligerent.
That's,
That is unnecessary to the man that you have decided to spend the rest
I
of your
feel
life
like
with. You can't
belligerent
tell.
is like cussing somebody out.
Dang,
Let
that's-
me Google what belligerent means.
but like, what woman yells at you loudly and
Nah.
don't cuss?
If I go into a
Like-
space and I'm real controversial and I'm yelling at them, I didn't use a curse word at one time at all.
All
They
right.
gonna feel like I did.
This
They-
is what. So Rachel said loud, but the definition of belligerent is hostile and aggressive.
No
So
curse words.
Loud, but hostile.
So loud
can
would
cursing.
be considered
No,
aggressive.
Loud could be like, why you guys didn't pick up y'all stuff? That's loud.
That-
But here's the problem.
But
with
if
that.
you're talking to a man, that's aggressive.
That's aggressive because here's the thing:
Wait.
if Richard Roots was to come at me that way, and we strangers, me and him have a problem. Just because you in a relationship with us, don't mean like you are removed from that response. Because I hear this argument from women a lot, where they're like, you just got to kind of understand it. But here's the thing: we have emotions too as men. So what happens is when you meet us with that aggression, it activates our fight or flight responses. Our blood pressure raises. There'll be certain times we can like literally get the shakes because that is happening to you in that moment. And so to just sit up there and coddle somebody while they are being belligerent to you, which they have zero respect to be doing. And then, afterwards try and give them an allergic reaction because you offering them accountability?
Yeah, that I don't know if you're gonna dodge the fact that that's belligerent. If a woman tells a man, you ain't pick up nothing in this house, first of all, wait, let me say this first. First of all, if a woman respond like that, there's no positive that could come out of it. And it's not fair to say to the man, you have to wait and deal with that frustration because he just witnessed abuse. That's verbal abuse at that point.
Yeah, but I also feel like Prime did mention something about, understanding. That's okay. When it's released, we're gonna talk about it.
Oh no. I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, what my understanding is that you have to come in measured already, and then I can give you understanding.
No, but I'm just saying.
But you can't come in crazy.
If the day was her day was frustrating and different, I'm not saying like cursing people out and stuff like that. I'm just saying she's simply frustrated.
No, she could be frustrated, but she don't have to be loud.
She don't have to be that way to me.
She don't have to be disrespectful to her husband.
I guess for me, loud is just like she kind of just her tone just got a little loud. I don't see it as belligerent. I don't see it as hostile, and I don't see that portion as aggressive. I see hostile and aggressive. I see belligerent as just something that is totally like cursing
over the top.
Yeah, like over the
top.
It don't
have to be cursing.
If I could give you an example from like a man's perspective. So instead of, since we're not talking over the top, what if when your man was frustrated, he wasn't going to just put his hands on you, but he would just, whenever he walked past you, he would give you a stiff shoulder? How would that make you feel? How cool would you be with that? It's not quite abuse. You could almost argue that it was an accident. But that's not going to change the fact your shoulder hurt.
You could almost...
That's not going to change how your shoulder hurt.
You could almost argue that it was an accident.
I'm just saying, like, what do you say to that? Do you say, nah, you need to calm down. Don't do that to me.
I think it's two different things. But y'all, look, I agree. I agree that people should know how to speak to people. I do agree that, but I'm just saying sometimes people come with the weight of the world on their shoulders, and sometimes us women, we don't really communicate when we're frustrated. Sometimes we try to get through it and work through it ourselves. So because we don't want to burden anybody else, and we feel like we can get through it. So I'm just saying, have a little grace, have a little understanding. That's all.
That's all. So a little bit of abuse.
So a little.
That's not. No.
So a little grace applies to a little situation. But what I'm telling you is, if a woman gets loud and aggressive towards a man, it's not a little situation. I don't think women really understand that. Like, the average man is willing to lay down his life for his wife, and that's expected of him. His community expects him to do that.
If he was to get caught on camera, or just the perception that he ran away and his wife got hurt,
he's going to be shunned and shamed by the whole community.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let me just say this. I'm going to say there have been times where I have not been as nice when I've said things. And there have been times where you have not responded. And I feel like the times when you responded with, okay, she don't know. I always turn around and I'm just like, you know what? I was real rude.
How many times have you done it afterwards?
How many times have I done what?
How many times have you repeated that after that situation?
I don't know. It could. I don't know.
That mean it was a lot, maybe a little.
I don't know. I feel like as if.
Was it a lot?
Somebody say they double teaming my sister.
No. Answer it. You gotta answer it. You backing yourself in a corner.
No, I'm not.
How many times have you done it afterwards?
I feel like it just depends on. It just depends. It don't happen like immediately after, but it can happen 2 months down the line, maybe. That's real. But it's not belligerent. It is not belligerent. Okay, I don't want to.
I would say. I agree. I agree. That's honest. You're being honest. You're being honest. But I would say you're an exception. I would say that's an exception, because the thing is, if if a man allows it, the woman is going to keep doing it. I mean, that's anybody. If anybody allows anything, any kind of abuse, the person is going to keep doing it.
Yeah,
you know,
but
victims.
that's weird.
Wait, so
I guess I'm just a different person. But
so
go ahead.
nice people are always praised to victims. I mean, they always they always prey to a predator. They become victims, always. So when a man is forgiven, he's pardoning that offense. So he's allowing it to happen again.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
But you call it grace, though.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip. I'm just saying, don't respond back. I just feel like if it's a real woman, somebody who's working on herself, doing the healing.
Wait. So when you say real woman,
no, I'm just saying. Okay, no, I'm just saying if it's somebody who's like working on themselves and stuff like that inner reflection happens.
wait a second.
And we look and we say, you know what, dang, like, yeah, you know what, I responded pretty. I'm sorry about that. Like, I shouldn't have responded to you like that. And we explained, you know what, I was just frustrated about this. And I probably should have told you that I was frustrated about this before, but I kind of kept that in. So, like, I feel like the inner reflection happens automatically, you know, but I'm just saying, but if you, I guess if you're dealing with somebody who's not, I don't know, why are you dealing with them? But
I sent the invite. Hold on, y'all. I sent the invite for anybody to join this live because I see y'all saying she needs some help.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you click the link in the chat, which he just put, I'm gonna actually do it again so people won't be like,
you can phone in.
Is that spam? You can join the live and turn your camera on. You can join the live and literally just be in the room with us. So
So we not, and we not trying to jump her either. It's just the fact that I don't think people really realize just how much men aren't heard. You know what I'm saying? So when a man gets an opportunity to speak, we have to speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I'm not speaking for me. Like I said, you're an exception. You don't take advantage of me. But there are men who are taken advantage of. So if I'm going to speak about the topic on the Clubhouse, on Clubhouse, but the Clubhouse,
Right.
you know, I want to do it with other men in mind. And I think sometimes, like, you consider you. You don't consider other women.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It sounded like you were arguing this from the standpoint of your perspective, which I would expect you to come in from a measured place. Like, I put it in ranges of like 1 to 10. 10 being you losing your mind, you hitting, you throwing stuff, you spit coming out your mouth, you know, like you over the top.
you got rabies.
You got rabies. You crazy. The kind of woman that would pick a bear. You know, that kind of woman. But then, you know, I say 5 is about middle. Like, that's just kind of where you are normally. If you jump up to 7 because the day was crazy and emotional, I can live with that. I can deal with you being a little extra spicy. What I can't deal with is you talking to me like I'm a random.
Right.
Or definitely not that I'm afraid of you.
Right.
And I think that that's what it ends up coming off as, is you talking to this man like, I'm going to just get loud with you because I want you to hear me. But that comes off as you want me to fear you. And that's an entirely different problem. Because respect is the language of love for men. So if you want me to fear you, that means you don't respect me.
So I want to ask this.
Well, okay, go ahead.
Who, and I don't know, so I'm just throwing this out there. Who do you guys think experience more verbal abuse?
Wait,
Men, easy.
Before you do that, I want to respond to that. Because I remember we had a conversation about this, me and you. And I was just thinking, like, women who respond in that way, it's kind of like a fight or flight instinct, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they feel as though when they yell or when they scream, they're feeling as though this is the only way for me to be seen or heard. So it's not like they want to say they're like bigger and tougher than you, but it's like, this is the only way I can be heard. One, because now their emotions are in it as well. And just like y'all feel like y'all are not listened to, we feel the same way. So it's just like, now they're doing this. Also, one, because like if you're loud too, they're gonna be loud. They're not gonna women are just not gonna like back down like that. Like I don't know, we have this expectation that women are like should be like, oh my gosh, you know,
Yes.
like no,
Yes.
that's not us. That is not us.
That's why there's a group of women talking about men ain't protecting us no more.
But that's not us. We feel as though that's the only way we can protect ourselves. So it's fight or flight at that moment, and most of us we don't flight. We feel
if
like
I'm protecting you, why are you protecting yourself from me?
But because at that moment they don't feel safe. At that moment they don't feel safe.
So in that moment, you not feeling safe. So the smartest thing you can think of to do is to antagonize the most dangerous person you with.
If you see if you see two women arguing, two women are going to argue and they're going to do all that.
Right, because I ain't got hands.
That's all we have. That's all we're going to. I mean, women will fight too, but at the same time, that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of mouth, right? A lot of mouth, and that's what we're going to do in that situation as well. Like I feel like sometimes it doesn't change because either it's a trauma response from upbringing, or that's just something that's been embedded in them. Like, cause I know for me, like I'm not like I'm more of a fighter. I'm not gonna back off. I'm gonna like toughen up.
So there was something to that wrist thing, and y'all was trying to cover it up.
What wrist? Oh, you're so silly. I did not hurt his wrist when you had your had your surgery. No. Like I'm not gonna fight like that, but and I'm not even gonna do that with him. But I'm just saying, like I know there's been times in my life where I felt like
my life I had to fight.
No, like I feel like I just kind of like you make yourself bigger to a bear so that they can run off. It's kind of like the same thing.
I think
you get what I'm saying?
I would say no. I don't. I think you do need to establish some clarity because what it sounds like you're saying is that you don't back down. And if that's the case, that's not something you want to pass down to other people.
No, I'm
that's
not
dangerous.
Saying people we can work on it, but I'm just saying I don't know. I feel like it's just I don't know. It could be just the way we have upbringing through slavery and all that genetics. It's just like
I know what it is.
Fight.
I know what it is. It's just like because a lot of our women haven't grown up in a house with a man who protected them. They feel like they had to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's the only problem with that is like when you decide to say I'm going to be in a relationship with this man, you chose this man to be your protector. Whether you've never saw it before, I know it could be hard. So I'm not going to be insensitive to that. I know it could be hard, but at the same time, it's not fair. Mm-hmm. So if you're not fit for the job, don't apply.
Right.
Because it's not fair. You know, a man would be like, and they should be. A man should be like, he should be mocked. He should be ridiculed, you know, if he's getting into a relationship and has applied for this position knowing that he wasn't going to fulfill his duties. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's not fair to just go into a relationship and throw all of your traumas onto a man. That's not fair.
No, I completely agree. And, the way you mentioned it, and just to, I don't think it's malicious. And I think that that's what you're trying to get across. It's like you're not necessarily trying to hurt the man. It's really more of you're just in a frustrated place and you just need to kind of express it. You just don't really have another way to get it out, which that I fully understand and get. My concern is that line is not clear. Like, it's not like physical abuse. That's why when I gave you the scenario about him shoulder checking you, you're like, nah, I don't really want to see that. Because one, in most cases, you're not going to be able to shoulder check a man enough to where he could equally feel that was a problem. You don't really have the ability to monopolize the force in that matter. So, but when it comes to the emotions, think about this. The most dangerous place for a woman right now is in a relationship with another woman. Y'all beating each other up like crazy. But when we get into relationships with men, the conversation is all about men putting their hands on women. we almost just give all women a certain amount of, hey, you got 6 to 7 slaps, 3 to 4 FUs, 1 to 2 spits on him before he allowed to respond without being toxic. But he doesn't get the opportunity to, like, when you with a woman and you guys get into it and you guys fight and deal with it, the man doesn't get any of that closure because he can't put his hands on you without it being a problem or a risk to him and, you even in that matter. So it leaves men in a situation where we kind of are stuck taking that abuse if we don't stop you from doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not like you said, it's not a malicious thing, but I just feel like it's like this is the only way that I feel like I can survive in that moment.
But
So
can
that's why I
you
say
love
it
me
could've
and
been-
treat me that way?
No, I'm not saying, but that shouldn't happen. Like, if something like that is happening all the time, then you should just reevaluate that situation. But it's just like, what I'm saying is for women who deal with that, I'm thinking that this could be a trauma response and of maybe what they dealt with growing up. And just like you said, like not seeing how a man is supposed to be treated because all we dealt was females. So it's like, that's how we're going to respond. We're going to respond just like...
But you wouldn't want to be treated that way, though.
But that's how women respond to other women. And if you never really seen what it's looked like to respond to a man, then what you gonna do?
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think that's why we have to bring awareness. Mm-hmm. If you felt like that before you heard men speak up about it and say this is how we feel, then I understand. But if men are speaking up and saying, hey, we see that as abuse, I think women should open up their ears and listen. Because, like, okay, let's just say one time out the month for 20 years, I just get to curse you out and swing below the belt. Just say some stuff that you don't like, right? One time a year, one time a month, that's 12 times a year. So each one of those swings below the belt is going to create a new trauma in your life. Mm-hmm. It's going to reset us. It's going to push us back. And it's also going to establish some insecurities about you.
Now, what y'all missing
so that's damage.
What y'all missing is, I say have understanding. I'm not saying don't hold people accountable to that. I'm not saying that this woman shouldn't grow from that. Mm-hmm. Of course, obviously, I'm always like, you got to grow and change. What I'm saying is, if you respond to her with that same response in that moment,
it's not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just saying, hold back and then try to relieve the frustration, then hold accountable. If they're not a person to hold themselves accountable, because I think most women will hold themselves accountable and say, you know what, I need to work on that. I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. But if this is someone that is not holding themselves accountable and this happening often, then you should reevaluate the situation.
No, I think the man should say, I'm not going to tolerate it.
That's what I mean,
so
reevaluate the situation.
You can go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tolerate it. You can go. Because, I mean, if a woman could say, you know what, I realize I hurt you. And like I said, it can keep on happening month after month after month.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like that person, you should see some type of growth, right? Mm-hmm. Allow them to have an opportunity to grow and change things, right? So that's like taking active steps, whether it's reading books on how to respond, whether it's reading a book on...
No, that's too long.
No, it don't
that's
take long to
way
read a
too
book.
long.
No,
you don't get no study course.
Week.
You're not taking no weekend effective communication course. I'm not waiting for you to go to therapy. You got 2 phone calls to your friend, a conversation with your mama, and if this happened again, you go.
But
now, I feel that, but I do think if a woman is making if a woman is being intentional about making steps, then I do see that as progress.
I agree. I just think she might be progressing for the next guy.
But
You're not about to beat on me until you right.
I'm not saying belligerent. No, you deal with your belligerent situation. But I'm saying if a woman just getting a little frustrated every so often.
Right.
Let's, let her work through it. If she's actively worked through it, it will eventually change, and it will turn. And I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Like stuff like that shouldn't even happen all too often.
I got a question for you.
But I think it's all about the communication. But go
So
ahead.
before Richard Roos asked you, do you think it's a smart idea to touch somebody who's angry or frustrated? And you was like, no, right? So from the energy of the woman that you're describing, because you're not describing all the women, we're putting the ratchets over here in their own little box. But so for the woman you're describing, is she calm enough to where Joe could touch her? Because I would argue if you are so hot that I, as your man, can't touch you,
I feel like
you too hot.
I feel like if
You need to cool down before you talk to me.
in a way where I was frustrated about something, like I feel like he could grab my hand and be like, "Are you okay? Is everything good?"
So
and
this conversation's not about you.
Okay, but I'm just saying. That's why I say for the belligerent people, if they're doing that, then we gotta access that. You have to accept that situation like totally different. You gotta look at that and evaluate that exactly how you want to evaluate that. But we got a caller on the line. Sure.
Oh, Jasmine came in to help you.
Back up.
Come on in. Come on
Hey,
in.
Nikki. All right. Bye. Listen, I saw them. They was jumping you on here, so I had to. They dropped the link. I was like, let me come in and try to support her and back her up.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? We appreciate that, sis. We definitely appreciate that. I know it does seem like we're jumping her at times on, but I she's like, yeah. But no, I think so it takes me a lot. Like sometimes people are like Prime, they're like Prime is like 100% wrong sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, I agree with you. But other times, me and Prime be at war, and my wife and I, we be jumping him. But
Nobody ever talks about that stuff.
yeah, nobody ever talk about that. But no, it's not that. It's not that, sis. Honestly, I really feel like sometimes men are like misunderstood. I'm looking at this screen over here. I need to be looking at it. Sometimes I feel like men are misunderstood. That's all. That's what it is. So when we have those moments where I feel like the man is being misunderstood, I feel like I have to step up and speak up for the man who can't be heard at that moment.
Well, we want to know what's your thoughts on everything we've been talking about and discussing.
She right here.
Yeah,
So
that's what
I
I was
wasn't-
about to say. I want to hear
I
what you got
wasn't
to
on
say.
here the whole time, so I don't know everything that you guys talked about. But from what I heard, my thoughts were just that, I mean, I guess this applies to everything, but it's very situational. Like, obviously, I do believe there's an appropriate and inappropriate way to speak to your partner. But I also think that there are appropriate and inappropriate ways to behave. Now, I'm not saying that like for example, y'all use the example that basically like if Nikki walks in and she's like, "You didn't pick anything up all day," you know what I mean, and just like is going off on him, right? I feel like women don't act like that unless you've been doing it consistently or you've been dropping the ball consistently or she's been talking to you about it a lot. And although I don't feel like raising your voice is the appropriate way to behave, but I feel like even when women do behave that way, honestly, I feel like it draws us into mother mode. And I feel like that's what a lot of relationships even go through is like consciously making sure you keep the relationship in husband and wife mode and don't move into mother and child mode. But I feel like it automatically does that when you are walking into a room and you're basically telling somebody they need to clean up the mess they made. That's mothering. And I feel like when women are reacting that way, they are behaving in the only manner where they've seen someone walk into a room and have to delegate someone to clean up after themselves, which is like a mother. And I understand that obviously that's frustrating, you know what I mean, to deal with. But I mean, I feel it's also frustrating to constantly walk into a place and have to remind someone that they would need to clean up after themselves. So I feel like the frustration kind of goes on both ends. And I know it's not always easy to react calmly to that, but in those moments, um, I've been married 8 years now, I'm kind of, if I lose it, I'm depending on my husband to kind of be the leader in the situation and not lose it with me. Like to kind of lead, redirect, listen, and understand. And through situations like that, I'll follow his lead with that and kind of be like, okay, like he's being understanding and he'll be like, oh, well, babe, I had this going on. I had that going on. I didn't get to it. Or, babe, I wasn't feeling well. Or, my knee was acting up or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like we took a moment that could have been like explosive going off on each other. And it was just very understanding. So
Okay, hey Jasmine, I got a couple questions for you. I appreciate you hopping on. I love what you just shared. I think that's a fair perspective. But so the first question I would like to ask is that do you feel that a man you can treat in that manner you respect?
Um, yes, I will say I wouldn't say that how you're reacting to someone in one moment of frustration determines whether you respect them as a person. Now, I mean, in that moment when I'm reacting like that, I might respect him, but I might not respect the fact that he's not following up on something he might have said that he would do.
So I guess my question, if you make that argument, is you ever get really frustrated and just yell and scream at like your boss, a cop, a judge, any of those
Me
people?
as a person, do I know people who do that?
Right.
Yes. Me as a person, do I do that? No. But
Right.
it
We
also
would say that
isn't.
they got a lack of respect in most cases, right?
Well, it's not a lack. That's not respect. That is fear. You don't do that because you fear the consequence literally could be your life or prison
Or
So
losing your job.
or losing your job.
That's
Yes.
why I mentioned earlier. Go
so
ahead.
it's because you don't fear there's a consequence to treating this man this way. You feel you're okay to do that. That
Well,
means you don't
no,
respect him.
That's not
that's not true. Because what I just said, even with my comparison, was that it's not about respect. People do not get out of the car when an officer says so because they respect him. It's because they fear getting shot
That's the
or
respect for his
going to
authority.
prison.
No, that's fear.
It's
He
not
has the
respect for his
authority to shoot
authority.
you.
No,
It's
that
fear.
I do
No.
see.
That's a
That's fair.
difference.
That's
That's a
fair. What they're
difference.
saying. So there is a difference between fear and respect.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
there is a difference, but what I'm saying is that it is a respect of the person you're talking to as to why you're not doing that because they are capable of inflicting harm on you.
No, you don't have to respect that police officer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
not
could.
respect. Like there are women
Like, we
who are
hate
in
police.
abusive relationships
Well,
too.
I don't hate police officers, but I used to hate police officers when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But if he told me to get out the car, I'm gonna get out the car. Even though at the time I hate this man, I'm still gonna get out the car.
Yeah, like that definitely is. That definitely is fear. I do agree with what you said because a lot of times I do hear, especially on TikTok and stuff like that, the mothering, basically thing that you brought up earlier. That no one wants to have to mother a grown man
Right.
because it's like, shouldn't you know to clean up after yourself? Why should I have to always come behind you and clean up? Is it fair that you just leave your stuff and expect me just to clean it up? So that can bring about a bout of frustration because it's like, hey, we in this together. Let's not make my job and responsibilities more harder, especially when you got kids that you got to clean up. I got to clean up my kids all the time. They leave their clothes in the bed. My daughter literally she gets undressed in the bed. She gets dressed in the bed and everything just stays in the bed. And I'm like, why is there a pile of clothes on your bed? And it's frustrating. So if my husband did that too, and he's just leaving his clothes everywhere, and I'm like,
But
We don't,
my argument
that
is that's
the
your husband. You don't treat him that way.
Yeah, so
No, but it's you can still be frustrated with a person and still respect them. You just frustrated with them.
but that's a problem that comes with being disrespecting a man because of your frustration. Now, Marquise Dennis said this, and shout out to Marquise Dennis, the founder of Birthright Living Legacy. He said there's three ways of communication. He said an adult, a child, and what was the other one?
Adult, pets.
Let's
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
let's just go with the two, since I only remember the two. But because it's the only two that's important for this conversation. If
Oh, and we thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know if you have anything else to say, but if you want to hang up, you definitely can. But if you want to stay,
so, I am talking to Jasmine too.
Yeah,
So I am
Okay.
talking to her because
I'm listening.
this was in response to what she said too. But so that's let's just deal with the adult and the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I talk to in that situation, I'm gonna put myself in that. In fact, I'm not gonna put myself in a woman's shoes. Let's just say Nikki talks to me like that when she comes home. She's like, she talked to me through the frustration because I have my clothes all over the house. So she talked to me like she talked to Layla because I've been doing this for years, right? Mm-hmm. So the problem with that is she's now talking to me like a child. So because of that form of communication, I'm going to respond like a child. But if she talked to me like an adult, that's the other option. She could talk to me as an adult. She talked to me as an adult, I respond as an adult so I can take responsibility. Because it's only one thing that I can do. I can get defensive, I can get irrational, I can get emotional because she's talked like that. So it doesn't lead to anything. It lacks emotional intelligence. So what I'm saying is what would be smart is when you come in, you see that you got two things you can do. You can make the decision to take some time to calm yourself down and think about how you're going to word it, or you can say, I'm not going to tolerate it, I'm going to leave.
I think and I will say this. I think it's very easy for us to say how another person should respond, but I think we all should work on the way that we respond, because if we all work on the way that we respond, we can de-escalate situations a whole lot better. We can go blue in the face telling everybody else how they should respond. But if we all focus inwardly on us, because if a woman, we come and say a woman, she's out working, pick up the kids from school, and then she come home and, her husband, he hasn't, taken out the trash. They both work or whatever. Or, and she just frustrated because kids could be loud and mentally draining. And come in and she just kind of like, you didn't pick up your clothes, like I gotta come and pick up these clothes too. Like, I don't think
the way you're saying it right now, the men really, would not have a problem with. That's the difference.
Debatable.
I don't know. I think a man will feel like, whoa, why are you talking to me? Like, I feel like it depends. It just really honestly depends on the man. But if you come in there and every woman doesn't talk like that. Some women talk a little more frustrated or whatever.
That's the problem.
But at the same time, she's just frustrated in that moment. So it's like, hey, she's frustrated in that moment because she's feeling like, one, I'm mothering a child, so she may respond to you as a child. I don't think she's doing that as a malicious thing to say, oh, you sitting up here acting like a child.
That is true.
It sounds like she don't respect them.
That is true. I do agree.
She falls into the, like Jasmine said, and I'm sorry she brought that up because I've seen something like that. I've seen a video like that, but she falls back into a mother position. She's not seeing herself right now in this moment. She sees herself as the wife, but at the same time, at the moment, she's responding as a mother.
And I've seen something like that before too. And what it talks about is basically, it's almost like how your body begins to respond. Because it's like, I remember I had watched a lot of videos on it. And then I went to go look it up. I'm like, what is this? Is this a real thing? Or is this somebody's something somebody's making up on TikTok again. And they talk about how in like different relationships, it definitely affects the whole dynamic of the relationship because the woman's body begins to respond to him like, this is not my man, this is my child, because every time I come to him to have a conversation, it's like I'm mothering. And I feel like it's the same thing. Like, even, I agree with the fact that what he was saying, like, kind of you should be taking a beat and trying to come into the situation more calmly. I believe that in any situation, like if you feel like you're too explosive, you should take a second to take a breath. But I also feel like if what we're talking about in this situation, like what I'm talking about, is when somebody has been constantly doing it. And that's why I'm just like, when you are requiring someone to speak to you calmly about the same thing that they have been requesting from you for every 3 days for 3 years straight, I feel like to that point, you are in a way being emotionally abusive. You know what I mean? Like you are telling them, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do better. Don't worry about this. You know what I mean? You're not going to have to ask me again. I'm going to take care of it. And then when they show up, you are not doing it.
I
It's like at
agree.
that point, you are dropping the ball on them and you're doing it purposely, because it's one thing when you do something accidentally, you know what I mean, that we can't help, or you make a mess up every once in a while. I think in those situations, it's 100% inappropriate to flip out, to not make room for the person's emotions. But if this has been every 3 days for 3 years straight, you know exactly what upsets me. You know exactly what I don't like. You know exactly you knew. And also, if I'm coming home from work, you know exactly when I was going to walk through the door. And it's the thing that with those
All right,
situations,
Jasmine. Give me 1 second here. I know you came to back up the sisterhood. I feel you, but I gotta take off the gloves. We gotta shut this down because you saying it is a unreasonable expectation that you monitor your tone when you talk to your husband
She said
when your day is frustrated. Yeah.
No, she.
She
this-
said
No,
that
I
you
said
you gotta
No.
have that allowance to be able to have that
No.
conversation if you frustrated. Am I right? You could talk to him like a child
No.
if you frustrated. Is that not what we're talking about?
No.
she may have. I may have missed it.
That's
Did you
what
say
I
that,
got
did
Jasmine?
not
from
word
that.
it
No,
that
let
way.
Jasmine.
I understand
But-
how he could have interpreted it, what I said that way, though.
And so what I was getting at is that this very same man, you are full on expecting him not to talk to you physically at any point in your relationship, no matter how crazy you get, no matter how bad his day is. So if he can have the expectation to never talk to you physically, you can't have the expectation to watch your tongue a little bit.
But she
Those are
also
not the
did
same
say,
things.
She also did say that
That's
this
like
is a
me
situation
saying,
that's
oh, okay.
ongoing and happening. Go ahead, Chaz.
No, I was just saying, I was like, those aren't the same things. It's like saying that if I have the expectation for my husband to be faithful while he's out, then he should have the expectation. You know, like physical and monitoring your tone are not the same things.
I mean, they're both
It's-
choices. They're both decisions
exactly.
we both make, is my
Yeah.
point. And
But just because I
your
yelled at my
tone
husband
is
also doesn't
your
mean that I'm
tone.
gonna make a different.
Words is your
different
arena,
decision.
fist is our arena. So you saying that give me a little grace in my arena, I can live with that. But you don't want to give me any grace in my arena.
But she also
That's
did
not
say
true.
this is ongoing. Like this is an ongoing frustration. So she's saying this is the partner is not holding up his part of the bargain where he said that, okay, I'm gonna get better, and he never gets better. So over time, if you was with a woman and you said if she ain't getting better, you leaving, right?
Right. That's the definition of insanity.
And
But
that's what
at
I
the same
said.
time, in this situation, if he's not doing something, but this is it's crazy to leave somebody over not picking up their socks.
No.
and-
No, it's not.
This
What?
is
It
ongoing.
That's
Yeah,
what
This
my
person
point
is
is.
I
You don't
abusing you.
respect that man.
They're
Okay.
taking advantage of you, and you will never be able to respect him. And as a result of that, he's going to always be in a defense in defense mode because he realized you don't respect him. What I'm trying to relate is that y'all think it's okay to be frustrated sometimes and go off on this man, but what does it produce? Y'all think, and y'all in the back of y'all mind, because y'all arguing this, y'all making me believe that y'all believe in the back of y'all mind that if I show my frustration at him through my tone, that one day he'll understand and he'll get his act together.
No, I
You don't
think
believe that?
that.
Exactly. So
that's
what's the
not what I'm
point of
saying.
doing it?
It's just
No,
a response. It's
it's
like you're not going
literally
to
just
leave
a
your marriage.
response.
That's why I said. That's why
because
I
you don't
said.
respect
I'm
them.
not saying that it's gonna solve the issue, and I feel like even Nikki early on in the conversation, if she felt like it was gonna solve the issue, she wouldn't have like she said, like when we go back to ourselves, to be like, dang, like
Then
I shouldn't
why
even
do
talk to
it
him like
and
that.
why justify?
Right.
Why
We're not
justify-
justifying it, more so explaining why it happens. And I'm saying that people get frustrated. And here's one thing that I feel like, and maybe I might be wrong in the situation, but I feel like with men, they don't put up with things that they don't like in a woman in the way that they expect a woman to put up with them. And I didn't catch your name earlier, but I know the gentleman in the black shirt, he said it earlier. He's only gonna put up with it so many times and then leave. But it would be people would be flabbergasted, they would be unsupportive, they would even down talk a woman who left her husband because she kept having to talk to him about not cleaning up after himself.
That is very
It's
You
like
know what?
true.
Can I speak to that?
I wouldn't do
She's
it.
right.
I,
She's right.
That is true. But
You're
I would
100%
not
right.
understand that.
And can I speak to you as to why that is? The reason is because it's going to be a lot harder for you to find another husband as good as the one you got than it is going to be for him to find another woman that can do what you
That's
do.
not true.
That's the
So
truth.
that means that
No,
men
it's
can
not.
come with the bare minimum.
No, that's
but
not what
that
I'm saying.
woman needs to stay with. That is
That's
what you're
not what I'm
saying.
saying. Women only are interested in the top 20% of men, period.
But
now,
I think in
if
this
you get
case,
the
you're
bottom
defending
of
a
that
trashy
20,
man, though.
but I'm not defending the trashy man. What I'm saying is the reason we would be against the woman leaving her marriage is because the chances of her finding another man as good or better and getting married after she has spent however long it was in that marriage is not as high as that man
It's
being
not
able to go
true.
find another woman he could be
Would you give
compatible
that same
with.
But
advice to
it's-
your daughter, though?
Yes.
So if your daughter is being emotionally abused by a man,
No, I'm not talking about emotional
That's
abuse.
why I said- that's
but
why I
this
said you're
is why
defending
you
a
should be
trash man,
vetting
that's the
before you
example
get
they gave.
married.
Yeah, but you can't. A lot of things you can't vet. That's over time. The person that can tell you that, you know what, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna pick up my clothes, or you know what, I'm not gonna leave my dishes sitting here and stuff like that. I'll help you rinse it off or
Right.
whatever, because I see that you're tired. They can say in the beginning that, oh, okay, I won't do it, or they can say in a relationship, you know, and they could show up a few times and then just start slacking off and not being consistent. You know, so it's just like.
I don't.
You're
Go ahead.
saying to just that it's okay for you to leave a woman for her shortcomings and not work with her, but we got to work with you guys on simple stuff.
So okay, so you know
That's
what?
simple.
All right.
You
so
can't
here,
pick up your clothes, bro.
hear me out. Hear me out. You're
We
right.
gotta
The
be
clothes thing is
consistent.
kind of crazy. All right, I'm gonna be consistent. This is what I'm trying to say, is that I hear a lot in relationships where whenever something goes on in the relationship and the woman leaves or the woman stops doing stuff, they always ask, well, what was he doing that caused her to change? What needs of hers was not getting met? But when it's the man, and let's say at the beginning the man was doing all of this stuff, and then somewhere towards the middle he stopped doing it, so you decided to start nagging him and treating him like your child, like that was going to fix things. We don't ever ask what happened in that relationship as to why the man stopped doing what he was doing. The bigger point that I'm trying to make is that regardless of how you feel about it, the truth is the truth. You're going to have a harder time finding as good of a husband as the one you have now. There's just no other way around that. That's not to say you stay with a bad guy. That means you pick a good husband in the first place. But what I am saying is that just because you have a problem don't mean you got to solve it that way. If it's not been working, if you've been doing this 3 times a week for years, it's obviously not working. Find a different way to get that done. That is where your feminine ability comes from. You may just be speaking to him the wrong way. You may not be delivering it in a way that he is getting it, because it is to your benefit for your marriage to succeed. At the end of the day, that's the goal.
So it's gonna take 3 years to figure that out, that he shouldn't leave his clothes on
Well,
the floor?
it could take 3 years if you trying to screw a screw with a hammer. Yeah.
No,
The frustration comes in over time.
Look.
The frustration didn't come from day one. I'm not gonna get frustrated with you day one. I'm gonna say, hey, you know what? Could you help me? And because sometimes when I get home from work, I'm really tired. I'm exhausted. The kids, obviously your life changes. The more kids you end up having and stuff like that, I'm getting tired. And I always see that you're close. First, that's how it's coming out. It ain't coming out. Look at this nigga here. You can't do nothing. Nobody's doing that. Like,
I agree.
in the beginning, that came from a time of frustration of, dang, I just worked a double and I come home and I got to deal with this. That's where the frustration come in. That's where it's kind of like, you looking at them like, man, you ain't doing nothing. You keep saying that you're doing it. So you're frustrated at that moment. And that frustration is okay to be frustrated like that. No,
It did sound a little personal.
No,
Listen, that's why I got quiet. I was like, he started talking. He was like, listen, you ain't gonna find no man better than the one you got. I'm like, my husband's about to be, you're not about to get me on here saying, oh, yes, I like,
You caught that. Okay. All right, you caught that.
Yeah, but seriously, the frustration comes in over time.
You know what? I think we're talking like, we somehow jump to like worst case scenarios with men and women.
We tend to do that. We do
did,
tend to do that in these conversations.
So and I think we kind of use that to justify the reason why we yelling. Right? Because that's the only time that somebody could say, okay, that makes sense why you're yelling. So with that being said, if you have a reasonable, understanding spouse, when is it okay for you to yell at them?
But
I
obviously,
don't feel like yelling is okay. I mean, and that's
That's
what I feel like
that's
you
my
said
point.
in the beginning was that she was like, usually after a woman loses her cool and frustration, like if you have somebody who's sound of mind, they're gonna sit back to themselves and be like, yo, I shouldn't even talk to them like that, and then come back and apologize like, I didn't really mean to even talk to you. Like, I'm sorry, I let my frustration get the best of me, and that probably was not the best moment to bring it up to you. I should have probably took a beat and then said something.
Right.
So
I agree with
it's not-
that.
See, that's all I'm really asking for is I just want the expression to be that that's not how we supposed to do it. Like that should be a blue moon scenario, but frustration is a part of life. Like you're not gonna be able to live a life where you don't get frustrated.
exactly. So
Why do you get to treat me like a child if you frustrated? Is my point.
Okay, but why is it okay to leave the woman if she's frustrated? If frustration is a part of life for her?
Because I can go find a woman who don't get frustrated
You just said frustration is part of life,
and take it out on me.
Right, because frustration
No,
is
Because
fine.
you made the choice to
That's
treat me
because
that
you wasn't
way.
picking
I
up
could
your
find somebody else who
shoes.
won't.
Yeah,
And
so-
then you made the choice to constantly disappoint or not show up in a way that was inappropriate enough to frustrate your woman.
This might make you mad, but if the only problem we had was I kept leaving my clothes on the floor and not putting them in the basket, if you really rock with me like that, you just pick up the clothes.
No, that's not.
No.
It's a
I'm
partnership.
just calling it what it is.
It's
Like
a
you mean tell me you
partnership.
gonna leave me after everything I do for you because I won't put my clothes in the basket?
'Cause
You don't really like me like that.
inconsistent.
Well, women don't
You
usually
just
leave the
said
man. That's
that
why
women
they just
should
end up
leave. I said
frustrated.
they shouldn't.
No, I said they shouldn't. I said the man should leave.
Oh yeah, you said the woman should suck it up
No,
and just.
so-
The man should not be allow a woman to treat him like a
I
child.
think anybody should leave if you feel like you're going to get to the point where you're going to frustrate it and you're going to argue all the time because now you're in a toxic relationship. But I do think that we do have to at some point, because let's just set this disclaimer. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I do get upset with her and I yell at her. So I'm not trying to present this as I'm perfect. But what I'm saying is I think after years of getting nowhere with these screaming, yelling arguments, you have to come to the conclusion that it doesn't get anywhere. So between your spouse, you should be able to have the conversation with your spouse and say, look, let's agree. We're not going to yell. We will not do that. That's the ultimate form of disrespect. If we can't do this, we're going to have to separate.
But at the same time, I do feel like that's still, you can't say that we're not going to yell, but we got to give grace, because at the same time, we are learning not to yell.
Wait. So if given that grace, that means like if I yell at you, I have to come back to you and apologize. You don't.
Or even having like a code that say red flag, we're not yelling. Or something like that. Just
you get one good time. We gonna talk about it.
One good time.
Like I said, you gonna get one good time. We gonna talk about it. We probably not gonna have another situation for a while. And now, if we married, you get a little bit more leash because I obviously decided that I really, really like you. But if we definitely just dating, you get one good time. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it, and then if you don't apologize or take accountability when you doing it yourself, if I have to hold you accountable, that's it. We ain't doing this because that's who you are. I'm not here to be your therapist, and I'm not gonna be your child because you're not gonna respect me anyway. Mm-hmm. So that's to me how I look at it. That leash has got to go because it's a choice.
Are you married?
Are you married?
Oh, damn, Jasmine.
I'm divorced, so don't call me bitter. I'm just talking how it is. But I was married, yes.
That was going to be my next questions. I was going to ask if you've ever been married.
Yeah, I was married before.
I was going to say that the point of view, like your point of view is similar to the point of view that I had when I was single or when I was in regular relationships with people who I wasn't married to. Like kind of like very intolerable, like, I'm not going to deal with this. This happens. I'm not going to deal with this. But I feel like, after being married for a while, it's like with problems, you're 2 feet in. You know what I mean? Like, and regardless of what's going on, you're 2 feet in. Your feet are pointed at them. So if I'm, pissed at you because you left the dishes in the sink, you're mad at me because I'm raising my voice, then afterwards we're going to sit down and, we're going to talk about it. We're going to work it out. Like, and I feel like probably my mindset, not, the reason why it is different from yours is because that's how I'm looking at it. Like you're looking at it as a point where, if this is upsetting you, it's basically escape, but you're single now. So, I mean, in the dating phase, of course, you're not going to put up with any nonsense.
Exactly.
Like you wouldn't have to. But it's like when you're married and you're like deciding like, hey, I'm gonna stay 2 feet in, where the only way out is like, in a coffin. You're looking at it differently. Like, okay, I have to be tolerable of this. I'm hoping that you're tolerable of my frustration with this. We're going to consistently try to do better in the future.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the way you delivered that. That was very elegant, and I don't got anything against that. And you're 100% right. I am speaking to this from a single perspective because I think that this is something that men should be looking for. We should be qualifying before we get married. So if you are having these kind of interactions, that's why I'm saying you get one good time to just do it. You showing me who you are. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to show me different. But if you show me the same, we're not doing this because what's the marriage with you going to look like? That's really my perspective. But you're 100% right. In a marriage, the goal is to finish the race together. Yeah. So the goal is not to just run at the first sign of danger. Mm-hmm. It is to work through it. And my argument more than anything is that I'm not saying it's not a problem. What I'm saying is that that's not a solution. So maybe we should spend a little bit more time trying to figure out a different way to reach our partner, our husband, rather than default to treating them like a child, which we know ain't gonna work. Yeah. That's really more or less my argument.
Well, thank you, Jasmine, so much for tuning in.
I appreciate you.
Oh, we really appreciate you.
Yes, because you brought a lot of valuable insight. We got another person in the waiting room, so
okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, take care, guys. It was nice chatting with you.
Yes.
All right, come see us again. All right, so
yes.
That was dope, though.
That was really,
I'm happy
good.
she really, because I think I wasn't mindful. I'm gonna speak personally. I wasn't mindful of the fact that I'm speaking to somebody who's coming into something, and you realizing that this is toxic.
Right.
You need to run.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got years in the game,
You're right. It's
when
different.
kids are
Yeah.
involved, you gotta, you really have to figure out how you can make this work.
Yeah.
But the end of the best thing that I can say and reiterate is yelling is not going to help.
Right.
Because somebody's going to feel unheard. Somebody, which goes back to the title, men don't listen. If you feel like, if a woman feels like a man is not listening, yelling is not going to make him listen.
Yeah.
Right.
And she said it, and which is true. Women would sometimes lift their voice to project their voice over the man voice because naturally our voices are more deeper. Our voices travel further.
Yeah.
So a woman would raise her voice sometimes to appear to be
Yeah.
loud
It's
and
just a
big.
thing. It's not like not a malicious thing. It's just a thing that they're doing.
I just want to, if I could, I wanted to call out because I just before I forget it. Herbert's Table chimed in earlier, and I didn't get a chance to address it, but he was like, "She's picking and choosing how she administers respect. That is not okay."
But that's
that
not
is
what
the
she was
best way
doing.
that I could
Well,
frame it. That was
Herbert's
that was when we were
Table-
talking about the respect thing, but
You gonna
that
have
was
to
Johnny
exactly
Live.
what I was talking about. Is that you can't pick and choose what you define respect as.
Okay. So I don't know. You were trying to join. Go ahead and just click it. It's the pinned comment. There shouldn't even be a passcode. So if you click it, it should just take you straight there.
Yeah, you should be able to get in now.
Yeah. But I definitely don't think that's a way of administering respect. I don't, just because a person gets frustrated with you, that doesn't mean they disrespect you at all.
So could you
If they
disrespect me
want.
and not know?
If I disrespect, there is a.
Wait, hold on. Could you disrespect me and not know?
Possibly, yeah.
Could you disrespect me and not intend to?
That is true.
So it's possible that you could do something that you don't feel like it was intended to disrespect me, but I feel disrespected, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, they can feel disrespected too, and they, are. I think we're using that word just a little bit too, like authoritative. Like, I think we're using it a little too authoritative. Like, no, I just feel like you just you may not have liked what they said. I think we should be careful with that word.
With
Yeah.
respect?
With that, because I feel like we use it in an authoritative way.
But let's see how.
Yeah, what does Webster to Oxford say about respect?
Like, I feel like, yeah, you should treat people with kindness or whatever, but I feel like the way we use it is, I feel like the way that we are using it is like authoritative, if that makes sense. Like,
Oh no, I agree with you, and I'm
Because-
saying I think we should is my point.
but it's like, just because somebody is voicing a frustration does not mean they're disrespecting you.
But it can though.
Yeah, but it is not. But if you
I-
have been inconsistent and that's what their frustration is about.
So
Now, it's a difference if they just go off on you for like no reason. Yeah, that could be disrespectful. I will say that sometimes that can be deemed as disrespectful. But if it's coming, it depends on what point it's coming from. Because if it's coming from a point that, hey, you just haven't been showing up, and this has been an ongoing frustration, and this time it just the top just blew off. I've been trying to hold it in, and I've been trying to talk to you, but this time it just went off. It just went off. So
can I say
feel
the
like that's a
definition?
Yeah. Go ahead with the
So I
definition.
think the definition that he's using is the second definition, which is due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. So if a man says, I feel disrespected, or I feel like you're not respecting me, you disregarded my feelings.
yeah, but that's why I say in certain situations it can be deemed as disrespectful. But if you're not showing up for someone, then I don't think that is. If it's like an ongoing frustration, if you've been bottling it up and you're like, "Whoo, I'm just gonna pick up his clothes this time. Whoo, I'm gonna pick up his clothes this time, or I'm just gonna do this time, or I'm gonna do whatever it is." Like, over time, the top is gonna blow.
But don't you think a little bit that if you really, really feel that way, you don't really like him like that?
No, that is not the case.
Yeah, I noticed.
not the
Like I
case.
said this earlier. I think we always go to the worst case scenario
Mm-hmm.
when that's most likely not the
Because
case.
it's just hard to think. Like you got with this guy, you thought he was this amazing guy, and then for just no reason under the sun, he just all of a sudden just started doing one of the two things that bother you the most. And he'll never listen to you. He's completely oblivious to it. And all you can do is just treat him like a child. That's just kind of crazy to me. And like, so to that argument about respect doesn't come with authority to a degree, is I'm like, imagine you were tending to lions. Okay. There's a certain measure of respect you're going to pay to that lion, because if you spook that lion, you might lose a limb.
I think you have like these real like.
Was that too dark?
No,
No,
I think
it's just too
the apparent fear
extreme.
with respect. I think that's like.
But what I'm saying is
Yeah.
there should be a measure of fear, or maybe that's the problem,
So-
is we've lost that measure of fear. Like women
We
have gotten
shouldn't
so
fear
safe.
our men.
But you
That is
don't feel like
ridiculous.
you fear him, but you can abuse him.
Like that
He
means
said-
you gotta become really abusive. Oh, he gonna slap me, you know? Heck,
Hey,
even
you might
Tina,
stop treating him like a child.
Even
No.
Tina didn't respect Ike like that.
She
And
didn't
he
treat him
was-
like a child.
And he was
Can I say
smacking
something?
her up.
Oh,
who we got?
yeah.
Who we got?
Who we got in the building? Herbalist
Herbalist Taylor.
Oh,
No,
He
it's
outside.
great. Can
he
y'all hear me?
outside.
Are you outside in the dark?
Yeah, I just got on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah. It's crazy that Prime used such an analogy, because that's the exact same talking point I have. And it's not an extreme approach to it. It's literally like Richard just said. It's more of a principle thing, right? And one of the smartest people in the world, one thing that they can do, some of the smartest people in the world, one thing that they can do is try to get you to understand through different variations of analogies, and that's just one of them, because it's common sense at its core. When you can say, "Hey, it is an unwise thing to go poke at the lion in the zoo because it can attack you," and that's anybody can understand that. So we have to use that so-called extreme analogy in order to get our point across. It's just unwise to go ahead and rouse up a man. I always say this. Whenever there's a disagreement between a man and a woman, and voices begin to flare up, woman, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Because one thing we can agree on is that whenever he senses aggression, two things is going to happen. He's going to either get ready for war, or you're going to get attacked in ways that you're just not going to be so excited about. That's just what's going to happen. So I think the best approach to that thing is to hold your peace. Just like if a lion in the zoo is raging and he's hungry, I'm not going to go once again stick my finger in that fence and laugh and poke at the lion to try to provoke the lion to do something stupid. I'm just not going to do that. So that's
Now,
this is sense making, y'all. Just sense making.
I will say this. If a woman is laughing and poking at you while you're angry, that's a problem. But I don't think these women are laughing and poking at anybody or taunting anyone. I think they're just trying to be heard. Now, if we say that women should hold their peace, I do believe women should hold their peace. But at the same time, I also feel like men should take the lead and lead us to that peace. Okay? So let us both be accountable to the way that we're acting. So I hold my peace and you take the lead and lead the conversation by calming down. So it's like we can't just rely just upon the woman and say, do what she got to do, when it's the man's job to lead us and say, show us that, look, we ain't even going in the right direction
So
right
I
now.
would say you have to consider this. First, brother, Herbalist Table, if there's a way for you to put some light, get towards some any light, that would be good, because it kind of makes the stream a little better. But
Thank you.
I think we when we consider the man, before a woman gets in a relationship with a man, what does she think that a man wants? Just 3 things. Men, help me out if she struggles. Even you, Aaron.
Oh, even me?
Everybody.
3 things that the man wants.
Yeah. We can just say if we agree with whatever Prime about to say.
Oh.
3 things.
I will say I would say, well, I know what y'all probably saying, respect and all those different things like that. But I'm gonna tell you.
No.
Wait.
No.
Okay,
No.
Go ahead.
No, we won't be heard too.
Go ahead.
So-
Go ahead.
But let's just see. What do men want?
Modesty. You want cooperativeness, cooperability, kindness, genuine attraction.
All right. Herbalist table. What you think men want? 3 things.
They want peace, they want respect, and they want you to be damn good when it comes to raising our family.
What you think, Aaron? I agree with that. All right. So I would say most men, you're going to hear peace in that definition. They look like they bring women in their life expecting them to bring peace. So now you are saying that the man should initiate that peace, but he's thinking the woman is going to come in to bring that peace.
Now,
I think I just want women to have have a realistic expectation from men.
Peace can mean several different things. I don't think that peace just also means that there is no voicing of the opinion, or that sometimes I won't get frustrated, right? And sometimes I might, get a little loud or whatever because I'm frustrated or whatever. I don't think that peace is also the atmosphere in which she makes the home.
So that's why I disagree because you have to. Yeah. This is you're speaking for a man.
I know, but I'm telling you what peace is. I'm telling you.
No, you're speaking for a man.
But I'm telling you how women provide peace.
No, but I'm telling you what men are expecting. Wait, let me explain. Mm-hmm. Men don't like to argue. Why we don't like to argue? Because we don't like to go back and forth. We don't like the loudness when a woman gets loud with a man. No, but that's an ultimate sign of disrespect.
I do agree, but I also think that I'm just telling you in which ways women also can provide peace. I'm just saying sometimes
that is true. I agree.
She may get a little frustrated. She may voice herself.
And is she giving peace in that moment, though?
Yeah, but I can't give you, in a world that is so chaotic, in an upbringing that is so traumatic, I am not equipped to give you peace like that. I think we also got to find peace within ourselves. Now, I'm just saying, there's going to be moments. No, listen, you expecting this woman to be an angel.
No,
that's not what I'm saying. That's definitely not what I'm saying.
An angel will give you peace all the time.
We're not saying that.
No, so we can't. Yes, but I'm just saying that sometimes women make it a little loud.
Can I get a little physical?
But that's different. That's 2 different things.
That's what he was saying.
I'm not saying belligerent. I'm not saying belligerent. There's some
I said a little physical. You're not going to go unconscious. You're not going to the hospital.
If that's the case, if women can't get a little frustrated and loud because of something that may have happened, right? If she can't do that, we're expecting her to be perfect.
Wait.
You wouldn't even be okay if I was punching holes in the wall.
No, I'm not saying
that. I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying. The only reason I gave pushback is because you were saying stuff like, if a woman can't do this, if she can't do that, she can't do this. Okay. And you literally just said it.
I was talking about the ways in which, in several different ways, women bring peace. That's all.
No. I know.
Herbalist, we're going to get you right next.
So what I mean is, like, you were saying things like, if a woman can't get frustrated, if a woman can't yell, get loud every once in a while, right? So that's the thing that I was speaking to. I understand it will happen sometime. I'm gonna say that.
That's what I'm saying. I understand. That's all I was saying.
I understand. So I was speaking to the fact that you were saying if a woman can't do this, as if it should be accepted as norm.
Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because let me say this. That the only reason, and we gotta keep it real. I think the gloves are off here. The only reason women feel like it is okay that they can get loud every once in a while is because they think that men and women are here.
Right.
The reason I say that is because you now have to carry that same principle when you're disciplining your kids. When that kid get out of line with you because you expect them to stay in line, when that kid get out of line with you, you find it to be very disrespectful. And under no circumstances would you tolerate none of your kids yelling at you and finding it okay and say, you know what, it's okay, baby, that you yelled at me. You're never gonna say that. You expect that kid to remain in a kid's place. So again, there is a place of a woman. It is not for her to sit up there again to meet the energy of a man. Because again, it goes back to that lion's position. Now you're about to get bitten and you're not going to be ready for the consequences behind it. That's what we're saying. So you have to always be mindful. Don't sit up there and say, he's not going to touch me. That's you taking advantage of the fact that he loved you and he's not going to touch you. So it's okay for you to get out of line. Go ahead.
As an herbalist, from an herbalist perspective, how does men hormones and women hormones come into play with how they respond in an argument?
Absolutely. So when you look at hormones, I can't believe you in here. When you look at hormones are chemical secretions secreted by glands to tell the body what to do. Pregnenolone, progesterone, and estrogen. And you can look this up right now while we're on live. They are dictators as to how you respond emotionally. And it affects you as a hand, Justin. Did it froze?
No, we can hear you.
Yeah,
clear.
we can hear you.
We should hear you
Okay,
and see you.
My screen froze.
Yeah,
so they are dictators in decision makings, right? So when a woman has to deal with this because she has more progesterone, pregnenolone, and estrogen than a man. Man has more testosterone than a woman. So when a woman is dealing with her emotions like this, that is a biological thing, right? So, because the question then poses, well, is it her fault? She's biologically made like this. Is it her fault? Well, I believe you can control the way that you respond to a situation. Do your hormones dictate how you respond? That's not a total dictatorship. It just makes you emotional. That doesn't mean you can't control your emotions. It's like a thought that comes. It has a filtering system. You can choose how you're going to respond to it because that's wisdom. You're just not going to respond off impulse. So yes, I hope I answered your question. So this is how we get the whole, I guess, the cognitive distancing from both parties, because one is very emotional because of her hormones and biologically that's how she responds, but she wants to put that man in that arena. A man is more logical because he's not always bombarded by different type of secretions of pregnenolone, progesterone, and estrogen to a level and the degree in which the woman is. So he's gonna remain in control majority of the time when it comes to logic and reasoning, whereas she's not. An emotional hormone is oxytocin, and it's a love hormone too as well. She wants to be very nurturing, and that causes her to kind of, again, be more feminine. Women has more oxytocin than men. And again, she wants to bring that man into that arena, and it frustrates her whenever he can't go into that arena with her. It's like, why you can't understand me? And the man thinking, why you can't understand me? But in the end, y'all, I'm just being honest with you. Logic wins. Logic gonna always win.
Now, you did say something that I thought was very interesting. You said that, because women have different things that can make them emotional. You also say that men have different things, hormones in them that cause them to be more, kind of, they could lead just a little bit better, right? You were saying that it can cause them to be more cognitive. It can cause them to think a little straighter.
Yeah,
so
because they're
I'm
not
saying
bombarded
if a
with.
woman comes and says she's a little frustrated in the situation, you could think a little straighter to lead her to a better place to say, hey, I see that you're frustrated, babe.
It does appear that the man he's more fit to be the emotional I guess governor, like he's the emotional regulator of the relationship because of his hormone secretion versus hers. Thank you. Yeah, versus hers.
So that's the only reason why I'm just thinking that. I'm just saying if a woman comes frustrated, I'm not saying you were frustrated, she came back at you frustrated. Sometimes that can happen because we're matching energy. It's kind of, whoa, that's a natural thing that happens between people. Somebody yell at you, you automatically yell back. That's a natural thing that our brain is wired to kind of like go there.
That even makes sense.
Saying,
why you should do that.
No, listen, but wait, hold up. But in the situation when we can lead and we can see that this person is frustrated about something, whatever it is no matter if it's something that's over time that you have caused the frustration about, then that means that, hey, you need to be a whole lot understanding because you caused that frustration. But if it's just something that she's coming out. Now, I'm not saying a woman that's being belligerent. This is a woman that's just a little frustrated. She's a little frazzled. She's just a little overworked. She's overstimulated, right? She's overwhelmed. I'm not saying a woman that is being belligerent. That's a difference. Because you might respond a different way because she can't really cool down and you kind of maybe felt she hit below the belt or whatever. But I'm just saying a woman that just kind of like, dang, dishes in the sink again? Like something like that is just then, that's not something for you to say, the hell are you talking to me like that for? Like, nigga, who is you?
I do.
You can't be doing stuff like that.
All right, go ahead.
You gotta leave me out.
So,
like, why are we fussing over something so simple?
So,
Herbalist
said, but you did establish something with the hormones. Thank you. You established something with the hormones, and I want to ask a follow-up question.
Oh wait, before you do that, I did want to address what you said before you do that.
You got it.
So okay, everybody, look. First off, I got on the black love shirt, so just understand what I'm getting ready to say is all out of love. Just so I make that disclaimer up front. All right, so here's the thing. Women, black women, all women, we got to stop the nonsense. It's not okay for you to occasionally yell at your man. It's not okay for you to occasionally treat him like your child. It's not. When we can stop doing this, we can actually get somewhere. In the same way, it's not okay that he occasionally puts his hands on you. He occasionally locks you in the house and won't let you leave. In the same way, it's not okay. It's not okay that we occasionally sleep with people outside of our marriage. It's not okay, and it is a choice. Your hormones, I don't care how out of whack they are, they influence your emotions, but it is your choice to respond. And so, as women, if you want to die on this bridge about, hey, I occasionally gonna get loud, be loud with your dog.
Right.
Young men in general, hey, if she gotta respond that way to get her point across, leave her where she at.
So, herbalist said, and that was a dang good point. I hope that wasn't missed because you said something that was just so dope. Because our men are wired, we're ready to hump everything we see. You know what I'm saying? Because of our hormones.
Right.
But that doesn't give us an excuse,
right.
just like herbalist Tabor said. But herbalist Tabor, I have another question for you. So, what happens with a man's hormones when he's attacked verbally?
What do you mean? What happens with his hormones when he's
what's a man's natural reaction? I may not be asking that question from because I'm asking because let me not bait the question.
I mean, I can kind of answer that just the way it's framed, the best way I could, and I think anybody would agree with this, right? Stress affects your testosterone level. Testosterone is the precursor to an erection. So if a man is constantly arguing with his woman, and you have these stress, oxidative stress molecules going and disrupting the reproductive system, yeah, of course he's going to be shut down. He's not going to want to have sex with you. He's not going to want to do any of those things because he's under duress.
Yeah, so
because of that.
I just wanted that to be. I just wanted that perspective to be looked at or evaluated because I didn't want to turn men into Supermen. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that you did establish a really good point with the hormones. You know, if the woman is hormonally imbalanced a lot, then we do have to expect the men to stand up and take charge and kind of try to help her through her emotions. We
Right.
do need men to do that, and I want to stress that. But at the same time, I want to tell women, let's not abuse that.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I mean,
and
a woman who's not going to abuse you is worth you doing that for.
Yeah,
Right.
But a woman who is going to abuse you, she don't get that leash. She don't get to change while abusing you.
Men also should understand, learn a woman a lot better because women, we go through several different cycles in a month.
I agree.
Say the same.
No, I agree with you on that.
We go through seven. We go through a phase where we're tired. We go through a phase where we're energized, and we got
Ooh,
all
you
the
about to hate what I'm getting ready to
creativity.
say.
We have all those things. We go through phases when we're sad, and with phases when we're frustrated because all of our emotions. So I'm just saying, if men understand that, then especially if you understand what phase your woman is at, then it's like, okay, you know what? I understand she's not doing this just to do this. She's responding. I'm just saying, having grace for that woman, because I feel like if we all understand each other a little bit better. Now, just like I said, if you got a good woman, she's going to come back and she's going to apologize. She's going to say, whoa, you know what? I was wrong. I should never did that. Now, I'm not saying a belligerent woman.
Hey, no. I'm
Don't
with
keep
you. I'm
going
with
to
you.
the
You
worst.
slinging
I'm just
heat.
talking
I wasn't about to
know,
disagree with you.
But that's all I'm saying.
No, I feel you. Okay, so we getting ready to wrap up, right? But so Herbal Sable, we'll go to you real quick. I got something real quick, and then you two, y'all go ahead and mingle it out, and then you close us out. Go ahead.
oh, that's me.
Yep.
we look
I
at
throw
that
a lot
one,
all at
we
the same
like,
time.
Sorry, you're good. No, listen, diet dictates a lot of what goes on inside of your body as far as the hormones of the endocrine system. And I wanted to say this too before I go on a little small tangent. Because your hormones are constantly up, down, and imbalanced, which ties into diet, but because it's imbalanced like that and it can fluctuate, it's not the man's job because I don't feel what you feel. You have to take control and say, you know what, I know this is part of my anatomy, so I must now be intentional because I could be having unwanted dictatorship from my hormones that I don't feel like administering. So that takes you to be very intentional about how you talk to a man too as well, not to use it as an excuse. Again, diet dictates how you're going to react and how unbalanced your hormones are and how they fluctuate too as well. Majority of the time, a lot of women are agitated, stressed, lack energy is because they're eating crap. They're simply eating crap. And I know this because I've been on that other side of the spectrum. I know what it's like to live an optimal life where everything seems to be going right and I'm in a state of homeostasis. And I also understand how it feels when you're eating crap.
You understand what it feels
intense.
like to be a woman? I'm confused.
Oh, hold on. Men also have pregnenolone, progesterone, and estrogen.
But you do not go through the same phases as a woman.
Hold on. The only thing I don't go through is bleeding. I have the same hormone issue. I can throw them out of whack too through diet.
Yeah, but
And
at
I
the
can
same
get all
time,
emotional as well.
but our diet could be even if our diet is intact, you're still going to go through the same phases. Now, I do agree that we could be aware, and there's a lot of times where I'm cussing in my head about something, and then I'm like, I look and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a chill. So I do agree that we can be accountable, but I don't think we can just say that men, just because y'all have those same hormones, that women, just because your diet could still be good and you can still go through those things. You still gonna go through them phases. We're gonna go through four phases every month. 4 phases every month.
But you can lessen the blow. That's what I'm saying. There's one by the name right now called HG, and a lot of our women are getting it. It's very terrible. Mm-hmm. By the time you're in pregnancy, that sucker, you damn near can die from it. Mm-hmm. And y'all know this. But what happens is the way you stop HG is through diet. You don't get pregnant and then try to reform your diet just to try to combat it. By this time, it's too late.
Because your body has to
Because
release those toxins.
this is a gene effect. This is a gene. It already got turned on. And I'm gonna swing it to one of you guys by saying this again. Gene is the lifestyle. Gene is the gun. Lifestyle is the trigger. If you know that you have a gene that can possibly get turned on through eating crap, and the same goes for again your hormones. If you know your hormones can get tripped up through eating crap, again, it takes intentionality. You just have to be intentional about what you eat. That's it.
Hey, way to drop some dimes. I love the word intentional. Richard Roots tell you all the time, I'm always talking about being intentional. And so the last thing I wanted to add to this is that you mentioned that, and this is not us jumping on Nikki, we just coming to the end of this, but you mentioned that you're going to be in different phases throughout the month. And how you are feeling is going to be in relation to where you are throughout that specific phase. I don't disagree with that. And I think any competent man knows that. But the point that I'm trying to get is that's even more reason why when a man is saying you shouldn't talk to me that way, you shouldn't do it. Because your chemistry will fluctuate. So you may treat what I would call a level 2 situation on level 10. And you're expecting him to be okay with that. He's not. Now, if you were dealing with a level 10 problem, he could probably meet you there. But if you come in and you just see one thing on the floor and you lose your mind, that is not a healthy way to deal with things. In the same way, it's not healthy for him to come in there and smack you. That is not how you do it.
At not cleaning up after yourself.
But earlier in the month, I did the same thing. You didn't respond that way. Now you ain't consistent.
We bottled it up. We can all agree that
but that was a choice.
If we bottle stuff in and we can't, but we probably voiced it already, but we're like, dang, he did it again. Oh, I'm gonna try to be cool about it, but it keep happening. Now I'm in my luthier phase, and boom. So I'm just saying.
That's crazy. I think I see like the difference in the way that most men communicate and most women communicate. Most men would repeatedly bring up that problem every time it happens, but women would sometimes give grace and not mention it. But men, the way we're wired, we see that inconsistency as a problem. Because that's what you was like, you're inconsistent. That's how, because I'm like that with the kids. Every time they do something that I tell them not to do, I'm never going to let them slide. Right. I'm going to at least mention it. Because I know if I'm inconsistent, then they're going to take advantage of it. Well, and I think that's what he's expressing, that, a man could subconsciously take advantage of it because a woman is not inconsistent. So when you get mad at him, he's like, you let me slide last time. So I thought you approved it.
Like, you knew I was tired, and like last time I did it, you was cool with it. Now I'm just as tired, but you feel differently today.
Yeah, but
now I'm dealing with a different
if
you.
Been talking about it for a year or so or whatever.
I feel you. I feel you.
But
I feel you.
So I would say this.
Oh, I was going to thank him. I was going to thank him first.
Oh, yeah.
Remember.
You got it.
He's over here.
Thank you so much, Herbalist Saver, for coming in and dropping in your knowledge. We really appreciated that. You did bring up some good points. Yeah. So we thank you so much for that. And definitely tune in and drop in next time, please.
So I just want to say, one second. Want to close the door? 1 second. So I do want to say this. So, Nikki, those 7 cycles you were talking about women go through, I'm going to say this. She is consistent. Mm-hmm. She is very consistent. I don't know the woman.
You go brag on your wife.
No, I don't know.
I'm here for it.
So I'm kind of confused at what she's saying because I don't know the 7 stages or the 7 cycles. Mm-hmm. But 4 cycles, point proven. But, I don't know the 4 cycles, but she's quite consistent. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't disrespect me. She don't do all of these things that she's advocating for other women. Mm-hmm. With, and I I understand that's your heart and your passion. You know, I advocate for men that I don't do things for too, because we got to hit a woman out. But I say that to say you do a good job managing your emotions, so you show that it's possible.
Which that's all I'm saying is that the women should act in the manner you act with your husband.
Yeah, but I'm
And
just
that
saying,
should be the standard.
As long as Prime has met you, you've always been the same person. As long as Aaron met you, you've always been the same person. It wasn't, which Nikki's showing up today.
yeah. But I'm just saying, if a woman get a little frustrated, y'all, she get a little frustrated, and don't throw her out in the street.
Hey, what did Raquel say? If she costs more than 30%,
Oh my gosh.
put her back.
Yes, indeed. But y'all, look.
All right, thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
We probably gonna do this again next week at the same time, Thursday at 8. So after you eat your dinner, come home, relax. Until next time.
Times ain't easy, yo. In fact, they just get harder. Still remember all the good times of sunshine and laughter. We making big moves.